Thank you. Please be seated. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the EDCSD online commencement ceremony. We are here to celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of the graduating class of 2021. At this time, we'd like to introduce some of our distinguished guests from the Douglas County School leadership team and school board members. As we call your name, please stand. Today we welcome Superintendent Corey Wise, Board of Education President David Ray, Board of Education Director Elizabeth Hanson, Executive Director of Schools Danny Windsor, Assistant Superintendent Ted Knight, Communications Officer Stacy Rader, and Chief Technology Officer Mark Blair. Seated here with the students are some of the most dedicated, compassionate, and adaptable educators that I have ever worked with. Our elementary and secondary teachers demonstrate the best of this district, rising to the challenge of educating our students every day. They believe in our why, fostering the unique identities of all learners to empower continued growth, and would do whatever it takes to help a student succeed. What I am most proud of, and you have to bear with me with the wind, I'm going to turn here. They help students believe in themselves again. Without that, many of these students would not be standing here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the EDCSD staff. Please stand, EDCSD staff, and be recognized. I am very honored to be part of this team. On behalf of the staff and the graduating class of 2021, I would also like to thank the many educators who have come alongside these students over the years. For many students, it takes a village to get them to where they are right now. I'm sure you've noticed the beautiful array of colors represented in the regalia our graduates are wearing. Many of our students are wearing the school colors of their neighborhood schools, a testament to the diversity of our school and the varied journey that many of our students take to get here. Please join me in thanking the educators who supported these graduates for the compassion and dedication they have demonstrated over the years. And to the parents and families of these remarkable young adults, thank you for sharing your child with us. Their accomplishments are a reflection of you, and that reflection is extraordinary. We appreciate your partnership to ensure the success of your student. Everyone, please join me in honoring the parents and families of these young adults. At this time, I would like to invite Katie Shekel to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to introduce a student speaker, Maggie Weeks, who will be sharing some of her words with us today. Please come to the stage, Maggie.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, class of 2021, family, friends, and teachers. My name is Maggie Weeks, and I have been a student at EDCSD since my junior year of high school. I'd like to start off today by quoting the line from the book, The End of the Affair, by Graham Greene. A story has no beginning or end. Arbitrarily, one chooses that moment of experience from which to look back or from which to look ahead. I chose this quote because we are closing a chapter of our lives today, and what we do tomorrow is of our choosing. We have all accomplished many things these past 4 years, even with the outstanding struggles that we faced together. Today, I am honored to be able to share a chapter of my story with you. I started EDCSD part-time at the beginning of my junior year, and halfway through the year, I started full-time. I'd been struggling with going to public in-person school since I began middle school. My grades were on the verge of failing, my mental health was plummeting, and I had no interest in continuing my education or getting involved with extracurriculars. Without EDCSD, I would have never thought that I would be able to stand here today with the ability to say, I graduated high school. Before transferring, I'm so emotional.
You're okay. You got it. You got it.
Before transferring to EDCSD, my teachers weren't giving me the support that I desperately needed to pick myself up, continue with school, and start getting passing grades. I stopped attending school because of various recurring events.
I have your speech here.
Thank you so much.
It's right here.
You got the second and third page, so we're good.
There we go. And here, it's on the back.
Okay,
There you go.
perfect, thank you. Anyways, my depression and anxiety started to run how I lived my life. Here I am constantly supported and checked on and reached out to about future opportunities that fit my personal interests and needs. Because of EDCSD, I was able to raise my current GPA to a 4.0. I was rewarded with perfect attendance and honor roll, and my mental health has improved tremendously. By attending EDCSD, I was able to better my time management skills so that during the week I could work on high school, attend cosmetology class, give myself personal time, as well as hold a job. Being a virtual student, it got hard sometimes, but my teachers were there every step of the way to answer my questions and concerns and push me to do my best. EDCSD is truly the blueprint of how the process of learning should be done. My teachers gave me personal counseling and weren't just worried about getting a student to simply pass their class. I was offered new ideas and opportunities and was able to choose my class schedule to best suit my abilities and my weaknesses. This made school a fun part of my day instead of something I dreaded doing. Because of EDCSD, I came to know what direction I wanted to go in my future, and I wanted to start in the beauty industry early, all thanks to Miss Bleak, who shared information about a cosmetology school with me, and eventually she helped me attend Colorado's finest salon and spa academy. By attending this school, it gave me a change in interest geared towards aesthetics. After I graduate, I will be continuing my education at the School of Botanical and Medical Aesthetics in Denver. None of my accomplishments would be possible without the support and encouragement from my teachers at EDCSD, my mom and dad, or my friends, who stood by me through high school.
Fine. Take a moment. It's okay. It's your day.
I believe that each and every one of us has a story to tell, and I am beyond thankful to be able to share a snippet of mine with you today. You want to finish?
you. I couldn't tell. Thank you, Maggie. That was great. Let's give her one more round of applause, please. This wind up here is real. I'm just having to tell you. It is something to deal with. All right. It is a real honor for me to be here with you today. Many of you, both graduates and parents, have been waiting for this day for many years. Many of you see this as the end of a journey, but it is really the beginning of the rest of your lives. And how incredible is it that we are all here together in person to celebrate this momentous occasion. What a crazy year we have had. It has been challenging, to say the least. We all went home and we watched everything shut down. And while the rest of the world was figuring out how to learn in an online environment, we at least had that figured out already. You adjusted to sharing space and learning time with your families and your siblings who were working and learning from home. You adjusted to social distancing and masking and letting go of activities and traditions and time with people. But we all discovered that learning can happen anywhere, that connections don't have to be in person to be important, that you have strength, grit, compassion. You can do hard things. I commend all of you for persevering through these difficult times and coming out of it stronger than ever. Writing a graduation speech can be difficult and a little intimidating sometimes. A million thoughts and ideas run through your mind. But as time gets closer, you really kind of have to settle down and think about what great piece of advice or wisdom you can give graduates. What will actually make a difference in their lives? 2021 graduation holds special meaning for me. My youngest, Jack, he's a member of the class of 2021 as well. And he walked across this very stage on Wednesday at the Legend High School graduation. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say, this wind is killing me. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you, I could not help but think this is the advice that I would be giving to my own son as well. It's a huge relief when that moment hits you and you know exactly what you want to say. This year, that moment happened for me about a month ago as I was driving to school. The song My Wish by Rascal Flatts came on the radio. And I knew right then and there that there was a message in that song, and I kind of wanted to share a little bit of it with you. I'm going to share a few lyrics that I thought were important with you now. So I hope the days come easy, the moments pass slow, each road leads you where you want to go. If you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. If one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, my wish is that life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you in the place you live. I hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. I'm going to have to take a moment and flip my page here. Well, class of 2021, here is my first dose of reality for you as a graduate. Not all days will come easy. and every road will not lead you where you want to go. But I hope that some words that I'm about to share with you will give you something to ponder as you head out into the real world. So my wish is that you trust yourself, that you learn to be bold, and that you take risks. Risk the possibility of being hurt. As you move through life, you will be let down, and you will let others down. Sometimes we play it safe to avoid the possibility of being hurt or having our heart broken. Don't be afraid of the pain. Life is far too short to let it pass us by. Opening your heart will allow you to live life to the fullest. Risk being the real you. Life is not about being liked by everyone. You will find that if you spend too much time pleasing everyone else, you may end up not pleasing yourself. Surround yourself with people who love and cherish the real you. Risk helping others without expectations. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. But if you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody. One more page turn. That's it. You will find that helping others will help you find happiness. Risk admitting that you don't have the answer. Not having the answer to every question is certainly nothing to be ashamed of. As you move through life, you will find that there is a very thin line between having and not having the answers. The actress Winona Ryder said, when you finally accept that it's okay to not have the answers and it's okay to not be perfect, you realize that feeling confused is a normal part of what it is to be a human being. And lastly, risk the possibility of failure. Sumner Redstone, used to be the majority owner of CBS, said, success is not built on success. It's built on failure, it's built on frustration, and sometimes it is built on catastrophe. So please don't be afraid of failure. Understand that every failure in your life is simply a stepping stone on your path to success. Nothing is more frustrating than having regrets. As you move through life, have the courage to take those chances. Congratulations, class of 2021. I am very proud of you, and it has been my pleasure to serve as your principal. Thank you. All right, at this time, I would like to invite up our second student speaker, Jasmine Vaughn. For me, it helped to do one page at a time on here and just throw the other pages under it. So you want to put it all up here and then clip it.
Okay.
And then typically I just paused at the end of the page and threw it underneath.
Okay, so when you're done, you paused. Okay.
You're gonna have to, there we go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine Vaughn, and I truly am so grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all today. Just want to thank Mr. Wiley for giving me this opportunity. Oh, we just roll with it. I may have to take this off. We're throwing off our caps too early. I guess my bobby pins are working. A little bit about me is I have lived in the beautiful state of Colorado for my whole life. I will be attending Liberty University in the fall. I love to play beach volleyball, read, and hike And lastly, my favorite classes here at EDCSC were government and creative writing. Now, who here thinks that there are things in this world that need to change? I do. Poverty, politics, government, humanitarian crises, COVID, the list goes on. I would like to propose that I have found the answer to how we can change the world. The answer lies within the writings of an unknown Anglican bishop. When I was young and free, and my imagination had no limits, I dreamed of changing the world. As I grew older and wiser, I discovered the world would not change, so I shortened my sights somewhat and decided to change only my country. But it too seemed immovable. As I grew into my twilight years, in one last desperate attempt, I settled for changing only my family, those closest to me. But alas, they would have none of it. And now, as I lie on my deathbed, I suddenly realize if I had only changed myself first, then by example, I would have changed my family. From their inspiration and encouragement, I would have then been able to better my country. Who knows? I may have even changed the world. I believe that all change begins within you. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with this so much. So often, I try to fix others. But what I've found is that I need to get myself right before I fix others. Who here wants to be a leader? I believe that everyone in this class is a leader. What I realized is if you want to be a leader, leadership is spelled example. I believe that we can change the world if we first become the change we want to see in the world. In the words of Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. And maybe I'm a bit of an individualist, but I think in society we're actually asked the wrong question growing up. As kids and now as graduates, the question of what do you want to do is asked often by well-meaning adults. The problem is this question limits us to living our whole lives for a career. Instead of asking, what do you want to do? What if we were asked a different question? How do you want to live? I believe life is a mission, not a career. A career is a profession. A mission is a cause. A career asks, what's in it for me? A mission asks, how can I make a difference? I believe that each of us can be the change we want to see by finding our why, learning to fail forward, choosing the path of discipline, and associating with people who challenge us to be our best. Finding our why. Like I said, instead of starting with what we are going to do, what if we started with asking why? In the New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestseller, The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy writes, "Forget about willpower. It's time for why power. Your choices are only meaningful when you connect them to your desires and dreams. The wisest and most motivating choices are the ones aligned with that which you identify as your purpose, your core self, and your highest values. You've got to want something and know why you want it, or you'll end up giving up too easily. A why is compelling. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what gives you purpose. I believe that our childhood, our parents, our genes, and our environment influence us to act in certain ways, but they can't make us do anything. We are not determined, but we are free to choose. As kids, we always ask why. Then as we get older, we stop asking the question of why, and we get caught in the mundane cycles of life. I believe that we can become change agents and pass on good habits to future generations, starting with our future kids. This past year, I think we can all say has been full of challenges and adversity, right? Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, writes, "Within every adversity is an equal or greater benefit. Within every problem is an opportunity. Even in the knocks of life, we can find great gifts. We have the power within us to rise above whatever may have been passed down to us." I believe that you have the gifts, the talents, and the abilities, I'm speaking to my class, to live an exceptional life. I would encourage you to dream like how you did when you were a kid. In the words of Steve Jobs, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Life is going to be a struggle between our fears and our desires. But we can conquer every fear that stands between us and our destiny. I would encourage you to be led by your dreams, not by your fears. I don't believe we were put on this earth to be average. You were set apart and unique. Learn to fail forward, as Mr. Wiley talked about. As graduates, the world expects us to have our lives figured out, right about now. We're terrified of getting it wrong. What if we fail? What if we miss our one true calling? What if we don't know what we want to be when we grow up? Winston Churchill famously said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." There is only one kind of person who never fails, and that is a person who never tries. So often, we think of failure as the opposite of success. In reality, we have to go through failure to get to success. Oh my goodness. An example, two men are asked to come on stage and perform a song. One is a concert pianist, and the other has never played in his life. The concert pianist is asked, "How many times have you failed at this particular song?" He answers, "Thousands of times." The other guy who has never played, is asked, and he answers, "Well, never, because I've never played." So right now, the guy who's never played is perfect as far as piano goes. He's never made a mistake. The concert pianist must be the biggest failure, right? Because he's failed thousands of times. They both get on stage to play, and the guy who has never played gets up, and he nervously bangs on the keys and hits the wrong note. Boom, his first failure. He's no longer perfect. The concert pianist gets up, and he starts to play the song he's been practicing for the last 20 years. And the crowd goes silent. It's beautiful. It moves the audience, and they can see how his dedication paid off. As you can see from this example, the pianist had to fail his way to success. He had to fail forward. The point is, in our lives, the only way we get to success is to learn from our failures. I don't know about you guys, but I would so much rather fail while daring greatly than to never try at all. It takes courage to continue, to press on, to fail forward, choosing the path of discipline. I believe that you and I and everyone here are here for a purpose. that we all have seeds of greatness, that we were born not by accident, but for such a time as this. Right now, we are at the crossroads of life. Here we are, young, free. We have our whole lives before us. We're standing at the crossroads of our lives, and we have to choose which paths to take. Do you want to go to college or work? What will your attitude toward life be? More than what do you want to do, how do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to be known for? What will you stand for? How will you contribute to your community? What values will you choose? The paths you choose today can shape you forever. Jim Rohn, American entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker, famously said, "Everyone must choose two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." And I would challenge you to ask yourself, is the path you're on today taking you closer to who you want to be? I'm not here to say that I'm better than anyone. I've made mistakes in my life that I regret. But the good news is, each and every day you get to choose who you want to be. I believe today is a new day. If you're going down the wrong path, all you have to do is turn around. I would encourage you to create a vision for your life. A quote from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens goes, "If you decide to just go with the flow, you'll end up where the flow goes," which is usually downhill, often leading to a big pile of sludge and a life of unhappiness. You'll end up doing what everyone else is doing. Ask yourself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? Your association. We've all heard the quotes, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Birds of a feather flock together." And there's a reason. Because truth does not change. I believe that we will be the same person in 5 years as we are today, except for the people we meet in the books we read. That's from Charlie T. Jones, who had a simple yet powerful mission to help people improve their lives through reading. I would encourage you to seek a mentor. All the greats in life had a mentor who brought them there. Steve Jobs mentored Mark Zuckerberg. Warren Buffett mentored Bill Gates. Tom Brady mentored Bill Belichick. The point is, in order to reach your full potential, you need the influence of people in your life who have the results in life that you want. People who you would trade lives with. People who have fruit on their tree. This is so fun. Oh no! Don't worry, I'm almost done. I know. All right. Okay. Well, one of the pages went, but that's okay. In different countries, like South America and Asian countries, they tend to take a community approach. Thank you. But I think instead of asking, how can I do this, and putting the pressure on you, to ask yourself, who can help me? It can be easy to focus on how, especially for high achievers who want to control what they can control, which is themselves. It takes vulnerability and trust to expand your efforts and build a winning team. It takes wisdom to recognize that other people are more than enough, capable enough. They handle much of the house, and that your efforts and contribution should be focused exclusively where your greatest passion and impact are. Your attention and energy should not be spread thin, but purposely directed where you can experience extreme flow and creativity. Who, not how. Francis Chan says, our greatest fear in life should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. Find what matters. Live from purpose. Lead from faith, not fear. Become the change you want to see in the world, and live each day as your last. In America, we are programmed for achievement, to strive after position. But what if we live for purpose instead of position? What if we live for impact instead of importance? What if who we become is more rewarding than how much we make? Don't ask yourself what you want to do. Ask yourself, how do you want to live? Who do you want to become? Since your destiny is yet to be determined, why not make it extraordinary and leave a lasting legacy? I'll conclude with a new day. The eerie shadows of the shivering night come to an end. The radiant beams of the sun begin to transcend. An indescribable warmth comes with the beauty of the light. A new day begins with this magnificent sight. The glorious sunrise with its stunning glory. Each day begins a new story. The breathtaking aroma of the spring flowers, the pleasant morning showers. The sunrise is the most precious treasure to be found, a yellow sapphire that lights up the world and sparkles all around, warming the world with its gleaming glow, the gorgeous spring flowers that start to grow. Today is a new day, a new beginning, giving you another chance to make a difference in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. That was really great. Let's give her one more round of applause, please. At this time, I'd like to invite Superintendent Corey Wise to the stage, please. Superintendent Wise, I attest and confirm that the students seated on this stage have successfully completed the requirements set forth by the Douglas County School District Board of Education and are deserving of that recognition in the form of a high school diploma.
All right. Mr. Wiley, thank you. Maggie, Jasmine, just to hear your stories, sharing your memories, finding yourself and your why. Pretty awesome. Represents all of EDCSD, and seniors, we're proud of you. So on behalf of the Douglas County School District and the Board of Education, it's my privilege to accept the 2021 graduating class from EDCSD. You did it. Way to go.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Janda Bleak to the podium. As you can imagine, keeping up with students attending an online school can be a little bit different than a traditional school. Our counselors kept tabs on each of our seniors, from constant communication through instant messenger, emailing, text, to opening those last-minute OWARE quizzes so you could be sitting here today. Your counselors met with you, built friendships with you, and encouraged you to fight for your dreams. Counselors, thank you for your hard work, and at this time, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Bleak.
Catherine Bacon. Katie plans on investing in herself and her education. She attended EDCSD because she was struggling with mental health while at public school. This school has helped her become successful by invoking her to take initiative and focus on her utmost priorities. Lois Coffrin. Lois will be taking a year off to travel to Korea and Japan with friends. She will be taking this gap year to focus on herself and work. After her gap year, she will attend a community college and then go into university and major in visual arts. It was never her choice to attend EDCSD, but in the end, it ended up being one of the best decisions her parents made for her. She learned to become independent and met amazing people along the way who helped her when she was struggling. She would like to thank Mr. Glenn. This man helped her through so much inside the school and outside of it. He gave her the best learning experience she could possibly have. He always made time for her and always put up with her craziness during blended. She would like to thank him for making her years of online school so memorable. Annika Simbala. Annika plans to attend community college at ACC. She attended EDCSD because she hated in-person school. School at EDCSD has improved her grades as well as her mental health. She loved EDCSD. She wants to thank her mom and dad for always being there for her. Miley Garcia. Miley will be attending Community College of Denver, where she will obtain her vet tech license and start her career of working with animals. She attended EDCSD because normal high school was not the best for her mental health. Being able to do school online has not only helped her be able to focus on herself, but also be able to focus on other things like getting a job. She would like to thank her family and friends for always being there for her when she needed it. High school was not an easy time for her, but having people by her side helped her overcome challenges to be able to graduate. She would also like to thank Mrs. Bleak for always checking up on her and encouraging her to do her best. Logan Grader Kurtik. Good job, bud. Logan is going to be attending Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. He would like to thank all his family and friends, but mainly his parents, his sister, and his beautiful girlfriend for all of their help and support. Congratulations. That's awesome. Ellie Jacobs. Good job. Ellie is going to Arapahoe Community College for nursing, then transferring to Colorado State University. She attended EDCSD because of COVID, and it has helped her become more independent in her work ethic and how she manages her time. Aiden Kellogg. You're good. Aiden will attend ACC and get some of the basic classes taken care of before transferring to a school with a good creative writing program. He attended EDCSD because it just felt right, and he would like to thank his family for their support. Good job. Riley Klockner. Riley will go to Arapahoe Community College for 2 years and then transfer to a 4-year university. She will be going to a college for a business degree. Kaylee Neffen. Kaylee is thinking about trying to get a basic job, maybe go and try some college classes as well. She mainly wants to go out into the world and figure out who she is. She is hoping to improve on her art skills in the future and maybe even become a great artist or a graphic designer. Kaylee came to EDCSD because she struggled with social interactions with her classmates in school, so online school was the best option for her. It has allowed her to do her work at her own pace, which gave her plenty of personal time. She would like to thank Mr. McNall and Mrs. Johnson for helping her through the years, Mrs. Knabb and Mrs. Alsop for making her time here fun, as well as all her teachers for helping her learn all the skills she needs to succeed. Thomas Larson. Thomas will pursue photography through higher education and work. He attended EDCSD because of the flexibility provided for class and schoolwork. It has allowed him to focus on himself and continue to grow and learn. He would like to thank Mrs. Odell for her unwavering support and readiness to help her students. He loved her class and content.
Thank you.
Finn Miller. Finn will be attending Fort Lewis College as a business major. Good job, Finn. Ashley Norman will play indoor volleyball and study business. A big thank you to all of her coaches and trainers for providing her with the right tools to succeed, all of her previous teachers that have made a difference in her life, her friends, past and present, and all of the lasting memories, and of course her family for their support and guidance. Congrats. Kirsten Perry. Kirsten will attend ACC and then transfer to a different school while working. Kelby Rayner. Kelby's plans are to become an esthetician and work in a salon for a couple of years after she graduates. Then eventually, she wants to create her own business someday. She attended EDCSD because the online setting works best for her and being able to work independently, but also being able to ask teachers for help if she needs it. She also met some pretty cool people. She wants to thank all her teachers throughout the years and family and friends who have supported her through everything and helped her get to where she is.
Thank you so much. I missed you.
I missed you too. Kathleen Shekel. Katie plans on going to a community college here in Colorado to study to be a radiology tech. She attended EDCSD because she wanted the freedom of doing school on her own time and working during the day. EDCSD has helped her to be successful because she has been able to manage her school, and this has let her be less stressed. She would like to thank her family and friends, along with her teachers and coworkers. These people have helped her throughout the years in school and regular everyday life. She wouldn't be where she is today without everyone's help along the way, so thank you to her teachers, family, and friends.
Thank you.
Faina Spiner. Faina starts college in August, majoring in a bachelor's studio art degree. She definitely wants to get her degree first and foremost before focusing on anything else. She attended EDCSD due to personal life situations, but it has also helped her become successful by making her realize who she truly is as a person without anyone rushing her. She was able to, slowly but surely, sort herself out and grow into the independent individual she strives to be. She would, of course, like to thank her loving father, mother, and grandmother for everything, especially during all the lows. But she would also like to thank herself for making it this far, even through all the ups and downs. It has been extremely difficult for me, and I'm happy that it's improving only for the better.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Ms. Lee.
You're welcome. Allison Thomas. Is Allie not here? Moving on. Jasmine Vaughn. Jasmine's plans after graduation include attending Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. She plans to major in global studies and minor in business. This translates into a future career path of full-time ministry and nonprofit work. She has also had the opportunity to be mentored by successful entrepreneurs on how to start their own online business, which translates into a future career path of entrepreneurship. She plans to work her way through college as a personal trainer. She attended EDCSD because she could work while in school. It has helped her be successful by teaching her time management, ownership, and independence. She would like to thank her mom for telling her the truth in love. loving her unconditionally and encouraging her to pursue full-time ministry. She would like to thank her dad for instilling her entrepreneurial spirit within her and challenging her to be her best. Lastly, she would also like to thank Danny Franson for mentoring her, loving her, and being a friend in times of need. Maggie Weeks. After high school, Maggie will continue her academic career at Colorado's finest Salon and Spa Academy in Inglewood, Colorado. Her hopes for the future are to eventually open and run her own business in the beauty industry, specializing in eyelash extensions, skincare, and cosmetic injections. When she began her high school career, she never thought she would make it to this moment in time. It was rough. She had lost her faith in herself and humanity. That was until she made the decision to transfer to EDCSD. EDCSD gave her another chance to succeed in school and in life. Her teachers have encouraged her, given her hope, pushed her to do her best, and most importantly, taught her that failure is a part of life and one can only improve from there. Not only have her teachers been one of her biggest influences and blessings, so have her parents. Maggie could say they were hard on her, but if they hadn't pushed her to do her best, she simply wouldn't be where she is today. So thank you to her mom and dad. There are no words to describe how thankful she is for her family, friends, teachers, and peers that she has had the privilege to have by her side for the past 4 years. Catherine Weiss. After graduation, she is planning to take a gap year. During this time, she will be working as a horse camp counselor and will also enjoy riding her horse, Missy. She plans to attend Colorado State University to study zoology the following year. Being able to complete her schoolwork at home greatly helped with her anxiety. It was just what she needed. She would like to thank her mom and dad for encouraging and supporting her to do her best and helping her throughout this year. Camille Wetton. EDCSD would like to congratulate Cammie. Cammie went to this school originally because DC wouldn't take her halfway through the year. She was going to EDCSD for half a year but liked it because it was easier to manage schoolwork and it never stressed her out. She liked this school more than a normal tradition in-person high school.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. I am truly amazed by all of you. Your stories make you who you are, and I hope you continue to share your gifts with the world because you are the next generation who will lead our state and nation. Now we just have one more final task to complete before we do it. EDCSD has a tradition of having the senior with the highest GPA lead the turning of the tassel. At this time, we would like to welcome 2021 EDCSD graduate Kirsten Perry to the podium. Kirsten is graduating with a 3.97 GPA. Parents, this is a great photo op, so get ready. Here we go.
Graduates, you may now turn the tassel.
From the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2021. Thank you all for coming this afternoon. All of us here at EDCSD feel honored to have played a part in your child's educational journey. Drive safely and please enjoy this moment. We'll have a short recessional, so let's Let's go.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell